Today is Fixing Friday, and I must first confess that I'm not actually fixing anything today. I just have this thing that I came up with that I wanted to show you guys since it is Memorial Day weekend, and the majority of dang near everybody that I know anyway is going to be barbecuing or going to somebody's house is barbecuing if you're lucky, or having some type of barbecue at a restaurant, me. Okay, but in any case, you guys probably have orders, or you might get orders for people who are looking for something for their backyard barbecue, a little treat. These are also good if you are having somebody who has an event or a birthday that falls over Memorial Day weekend. The picnic, backyard kind of like baby showers and weddings are kind of popular now. So I thought this would be really cute just for the holiday or for some type of event that has a backyard barbecue theme, to do something that is along those lines that involve these cute little hamburger pops. Okay, this is also good for 4th of July coming up, and then I don't want to think about it because it'll be in September, but there's Labor Day, all the stuff that involves barbecues and just summertime in general, which I am so excited about. All right, so we are going to get started with this. Now, what I want to show you, I have an example here. This one that I have here is actually, so the burger is Rice Krispie Treat. I mostly chose Rice Krispie Treat because of the texture, and then you have cake as the bun, obviously, and the lettuce is wafer paper. The ketchup is this here, which is just melted red candy melt, and then you have some cheese, which is white modeling chocolate with some yellow petal dust on it. Okay, so in order to make this, it's really easy. What we do is I just have rice cereal treats. So I have one piece here, and then some modeling chocolate. So I made red and brown modeling chocolate, and I basically just mixed the two together because it kind of gives a nice color, similar to a burger, or gives you a nice base for your color. And you want to take your red and brown modeling chocolate and just mix it. Now, if you guys need to know how to make modeling chocolate, you can go onto our Fix It Friday. We have a modeling chocolate tutorial. Okay, the one that I use is from Jessie Cakes, actually. So we have that there showing you how to make the modeling chocolate. This stuff is great. I mean, it stays forever. It is very good to work with, and it dries really hard, really quick. Adds a nice texture because you can use candy melts. It's really inexpensive. You can do it in a ton of different colors. I really like working with it a lot, actually. So you want to just knead it a little bit so that you can then knead it with your Rice Krispie Treat. And again, the reason why I chose the Rice Krispie Treat is because you're going to be eating the whole thing. So, or essentially your client or your guest is going to be eating the entire thing. And I didn't want to make it out of cake because I wanted that texture, but I also didn't want to do it just like straight fondant or straight modeling chocolate, because that's a little bit weird, that's a little bit weird on your palate. All right, so Rice Krispie Treats are actually really good, and mixing it with the modeling chocolate is almost just like a chocolate covered Rice Krispie Treat, which we all know is delicious. So this works well in all ways. So you just want to knead that together, and don't do it to the point where it gets really smooth. Just kind of do it until it's just combined. And then if you're doing a lot of these, which is kind of the point, to do it as, just little small desserts, a bunch of them like cake pops or whatever, you want to do more of this at a time, obviously. So you'd want to take a lot of Rice Krispie Treats and a lot of the modeling chocolate and knead it all together at the same time, so that you can just take a bit off and then mold it into your little burger patties. Okay, that's pretty good. So then I'm going to break it into pieces. So take off just a little chunk of it, about a quarter size piece. Okay, and then kind of form it into a patty. If you have too much Rice Krispie Treat showing, just make sure to knead that in a little bit better, because then it'll make your burger look kind of weird. So roll it just like a hamburger patty, and then you can just press it in with your thumb. Okay? And then I kind of like to shape the edges a little bit. See how it's like really jagged there? That's perfect. Leave that. Okay, that's like what you really, that's what you want, baby. That is good stuff all on its own. You don't even have to do much to make it look like a burger. So we're gonna just do a few of these. Okay, next move here is we want to take some white modeling chocolate that we already had made, and you're just going to knead this to make it pliable. And this is what we're going to use to make our cheese. The reason why I decided to use modeling chocolate again instead of fondant for the cheese is because I think modeling chocolate, because it's made of candy melts, just tastes better. But then also because of the fact that once you like roll this out and cut it into cheese, the cheese shape, it'll harden up fairly quick, so that you don't have like the cheese that you kind of want everything to, you know, have some body to it. You want it to be, you know, you want it to just sit up and be proud and not be like some saggy old nasty burger. I mean, I get that it's cheese, so you want it to look like it's melted, so it's fine if it sags a little bit, but you don't want it to all just become like one big blob of like, you know, that's not cute. So the modeling chocolate will keep its shape fairly well. I guess you could always use gum paste, but again, gum paste is not good, and a lot of people think fondant is not good either, but this stuff is good, okay? So this works. Once you get it to be pliable, then you just want to take it, this is a non-stick mat, but I still like to put down a little bit of cornstarch, and then take a rolling pin. You just need a little one, and roll this out. And don't worry, you see that it's getting some of the color from the burger. That's totally fine, because we're going to color this anyway with a little bit of like pastel petal dust. All right, now you just want to take and cut out some squares, just like little pieces of cheese. So I'm going to make my edges straight first. And then just go ahead and you can slice, you know, just eyeball it, see what you can get out of this roll. All right, that's more than enough, so we won't worry about the rest of this stuff. You just take it and ball it up. Modeling chocolate is also great because you don't even really have to like keep it airtight. You just put it in a container, or you can wrap some saran wrap around it for sanitation purposes. But as far as it's drying out, it totally will be good. It won't at all. I mean, like, it'll come back to life as soon as you begin to knead it and the heat from your hand gets to it. So I love that. So then we're going to take our cheese pieces, let them stiffen up a little bit, so just set them to the side. Next thing that we're going to do is our lettuce. Now I already have some lettuce done here. This doesn't really look like lettuce. And somebody mentioned about the lettuce being looking so realistic on the burger that I already posted on Instagram. It does, but this doesn't. The key to this, so you have the coloring here, but the key to it is going to be getting some type of a this is wafer paper, so you want to get some type of like what am I trying to say, some moisture to it, because that's what is going to bring the wafer paper to life. Okay, so I am going to show you how we just, you know, simply cut, and then afterward I'll show you how we colored that wafer paper. So you kind of just want to cut around in any sort of pattern. Leave it a little bit jagged, it's fine. You don't want it to be a perfect circle because lettuce does not look like that. Make it fairly, a little bit larger than the actual burger. Not too big, but you want it to be able to hang off a little bit and have some flowiness to it. So that is our lettuce. Set that to the side, and next thing we need is the bun. Make sure our ketchup is not hardening. Alright, so for the bun, you just take your cake, and I'm going to use this saran wrap that the cake is sitting on. So you want to lay the saran wrap over the cake, and then I'm just using a jigger. No, yeah, that word is odd, but this is a bartending tool. It's called a jigger, and mine has a 1 ounce, 3/4 ounce, and a 1/2 ounce shot like measuring on it. Okay, and you can use anything like the other end of if you have a rather large piping tip, or if you have a circle cutter that is this size or this kind of a small one. I don't happen to have any really small circle cutters, so this actually, you know, it's just a kitchen tool I have around, which works out fine. If you do have circle cutters, feel free to use those. I am going to use the I'm going to use the 3/4 inch side. So this is a 3/4 inch circle, and I just go and cut all the way down. Now I use the saran wrap for 2 reasons. One is that it kind of rounds out the top a little bit of the burger, and then also because it keeps my cake from sticking inside of the jigger. Okay, so once you do that, then you want to take a knife. So grab a knife, serrated preferably, and you're going to just cut off the top portion of the burger. I like to use the brown part of the cake for that because it just looks more like a burger bun. Alright, so you have one bun top there, and then again you're going to cut off and level out the bottom part. Okay, so then you have your top and bottom burger bun. Alright, and you're going to do that as many times as you need. So I have 4, actually I have this patty that I did earlier. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patties. Okay, so I'm going to do that a few more times. 4 more times. Here we have our burger buns. Super easy. Now, I'm going to just warm this ketchup up real quick. Actually, I'll wait because I don't need it yet. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we are going to start to color these lovely things that are, I'm sure you're thinking, what the heck, this doesn't look like cheese or lettuce. So what we need to do to get some color on these babies is, I'm going to pick which cheese I'm going to actually use here. So I think these will do. The others I'm just going to set over here. And then kind of just measure my lettuce up a little bit. Make sure it's not too big or too small. I think some of these could use a trim. So let's do the cheese first. Oh, cheese. That's okay. That's why we have extra. I'm going to swap that out. All right, so I have these pastels here, okay? These are non-toxic pastels. Now, I have to say, these are not technically a food product, just in the same way that like petal dust for a flower, it's really the same thing. Or like what am I trying to say? Like disco dust or anything like the gold or the silver highlighter dust. A lot of that stuff is not technically a food product. All right, so I don't want you guys to get in trouble. Since the purpose of this is for the whole thing to be eaten, what I do want to say about this is you could either make yellow modeling chocolate and not have to use the petal dust to do this. I like the petal dust because you can add some more dimension with the color. But what you could do instead of using petal dust, if you're concerned about using these, even though they're non-toxic, like I said, they're technically not a food product. It's I don't know. I'm not the FDA. Like, I can't say that it won't make anybody sick, but I'm not personally concerned about it, however you may be. So what you could do is to make 2 or 3 different colors of yellow, and then you can mix it together just in the same way that we did the brown and the red, and that way you can add some depth to the actual yellow instead of one flat yellow color. But for what I'm doing today and for the tutorial purpose, I am just going to use my pastels, okay? So I have 3 different color pastels, kind of like a little ombre effect there. And what I do is I take it and I just shave all the colors onto my cheese pieces. And then I simply take a brush, your food paint brush. Make sure that you don't have any other colors on there. And then you just dust it in. Just lightly dust it around until you get the coverage that you like. And once you do it this way, all the colors will kind of blend, but some areas will be lighter, some will be darker. And so it really sort of looks like cheese. Once I add some color to my burgers, I also want to add a little bit of shine to them. So I am going to take some of the gel paste, and I'm just going to take some out so I don't get a bunch of color into it. This is not gel paste, I'm lying. This is piping gel, some type of gel. Hair gel, piping gel. Don't add hair gel, please. You mostly only need to add the piping gel to the outer edges of the burger. Don't saturate it either. You know, you want some parts to be matte, some parts to be shiny. You don't want it all to be shiny. And I said only to the outer edges because this is just not something that it doesn't really add much flavor, although it isn't sweet. You don't want to just add it on here for no reason. And mostly only the outer edge is going to be showing once we assemble this. So you don't need to put it everywhere. This also helps to blend the color in a little bit. And any like naked Rice Krispie treat areas helps you to cover those with a little more color so the burgers look more authentic. You also have to, like I said, add some moisture to these to the wafer paper to get it to act like lettuce. Now, here's the thing. You can put piping gel, which is what a lot of people use. You can also steam them. I like to steam it with my iron. You probably know this. You can get a handheld steamer from Amazon, like 15 bucks. But why do that when you have the steam function on your iron? That's my question. How about you? That's what I wanted to know. But anyway, you could also just put a little water from the sink, but you have to be careful with that because when you add too much water to it, it kind of just like disintegrates basically, okay? We don't want that. So I am going to add a little bit of water with the paintbrush, but just fair warning, be careful, all right? I gave you your options, so you kind of got to do what works for you and make a little bit of a judgment call. I have these little striped sticks. These are actually just straws. They're paper straws. They're great. You guys probably know where to get these. These are really little ones. I think they're about 4 or 5 inches long. You can also use longer if you want to get like actual like cake pop sticks. You can get a little bit of a longer one, but I think these work. These little burgers are really petite, so you don't need anything too ridiculous. So to assemble, what you want to do? You're going to take your burger, but you take your burger bottom, and you take your stick, and you make sure that there's a hole for the stick. All right, then you need something to help it, so you can either put a little bit of this here ketchup, but you got to be careful with this as a glue because I don't know, it's just a little weird. I would say use it, but just be aware that it kind of can like come out and be in places you don't want it to be. All right, so before I do that, actually take my stick and make sure there's a hole in my burger, and then line that up as well. Okay, next thing on a burger, what's next? Probably the cheese, right? It's been so long since I've made a burger. All right, so put a hole in the cheese. This is kind of like we're gonna, what's it, the Very Hungry Caterpillar? He ate a hole through the burger. One day one. I think there is actually a burger in that story, or no, maybe it's a hot dog. All right, so you can kind of shape your cheese up in a couple spots and then put it up this way and down here. And then you want to put your lettuce. Okay, so let me show you some options for the lettuce. I'm just going to put some water on my brush here, and I'm going to brush the water around the wafer paper, and mostly going to concentrate the water on the center of the wafer paper because then I can give it some bend. I want to put a little bit on the outside, but I can give it some bend that way without worrying about it looking wilted. You don't want it to look wilted, you just want to give it movement. Alright, so I kind of bend it up in the middle, and then it needs a hole, but you're not really going to get a hole with that stick, so just take something sharp and put a hole in it. And then let's put something down so it can stick. And then the last step is to get your final bun on top. I'm going to put a hole and, last, I'm going to add my ketchup. So you just want to add a little dollop of ketchup because you kind of want it to squeeze out, but you don't want it to go everywhere. So use your discretion here. And then kind of push your bun down so that your ketchup shows a little. And then you can add your stick all the way through. Now how freaking cute is this? I love it. I really love it. Oh my gosh, okay? So that is how you do your little burger pop. I don't even know, I don't want to call this a cake pop, but whatever. It's a burger pop, cake pop, whatever you want to call it. Again, great for a barbecue, okay? I am actually going to assemble the rest of these because you guys probably know I only usually do one example, but I'm just gonna finish them because I love them right now, and also because I think these are gonna be super cute all lined up together. So I want to actually have you see what it looks like when you have, you know, a couple of them together on like a little table with all the other barbecue type desserts. Oh my god, love it, so cute. Okay. Thank you guys. That was our Fix It Friday for this Memorial Day weekend. I hope that you guys have a safe and awesome weekend. I hope that somebody orders some Memorial Day treats so that you can make these fabulous little burger pops for them. I will see you guys on Tuesday for our Tuesday tidbit. And as always, if you have any questions or comments about this video, please leave them below in the comment section. I will be sure to get back to you on them. Or if you have any suggestions for something you'd like to see, a Fix It question that you have, please do let me know. Leave it here on the website, or you can leave it for us on our Instagram at KCollege, or also on our YouTube channel where you might be watching this video right now. Okay, you guys, thank you. See you next time. What just happened?